I'm going to talk about RPG video games. A role-playing video game, commonly referred to as simply a role-playing game or an RPG, as well as a computer role-playing game or a CRPG, is a type of video game genre where the player controls the actions of a character and several party members, immersed in some well-defined world. Players control a central game character or multiple game characters, usually called a party, and attain victory by completing a series of quests or reaching the conclusion of a central storyline. Players explore a game world while solving puzzles and engaging in combat. A key feature of the genre is that characters grow in power and abilities, and characters are typically designed by the player. Role-playing video games typically rely on a highly developed story and setting, which is divided into several quests. Players control one or several characters by using commands which are performed by the character at an effectiveness determined by that character's numeric attributes. Often, these attributes increase each time character gains a level, and a character level goes up each time the player accumulates a certain amount of experience. Role-play video games also typically attempt to offer more complex and dynamic character interaction than what is found in other types of video games. This usually involves additional focus on the artificial intelligence and script behavior of computer-controlled non-player characters, also known as NPCs characters. The premise of many role-playing games tasks the player with saving the world or whichever level of society is threatened. The story often provides much of the entertainment in the game. Because these games have strong storylines, they can often make effective use of recorded dialogue and voice-over narration. Players on these games tend to appreciate long cutscenes more than players of faster action games. While most games advance the plot when the player defeats an enemy or completes a level, role-playing games often progress the plot based on other important decisions. For example, a player may make the decision to join a guild, thus triggering a progression in the storyline that is usually irreversible. New elements in the story may also be triggered by mere arrival in an area, rather than completing a specific challenge. The plot is usually divided so that each game location is an opportunity to level the character and reveal a new chapter in the history. Exploring the world is an important aspect of many RPGs. Players will walk through, talking to non-player characters, picking up objects, and avoiding traps. Players can find loot, such as clothing, weapons, and armor, throughout the game world and collect it. Players can trade items for currency and better equipment. Many role-playing games allow players to play as an evil character, although robbing and murdering indiscriminately may make it easier to get money. There are usually consequences in that other characters will become uncooperative or even hostile towards the player. Thus, these games allow players to make moral choices, but force players to live with the consequences of their actions. Also, the characterization of the game's avatar will develop through storytelling. Characters may also become more functionally powerful by gaining new skills, weapons, and magic. This creates a positive feedback cycle that is central to most role-playing games. The player grows in power, allowing them to overcome more difficult challenges and gain even more power. Other games often separate combat into its own mode of gameplay, distinct from exploring the game world. More recent games tend to maintain a consistent perspective for world exploration and combat. Conclusion. In my opinion, I prefer this type of games because you can enjoy a well-developed history, you can play in whatever way you want to, and there's a lot of secondary missions or tasks. And you can enjoy a lot of abilities, and each character has different abilities. So you can entertain more with this type of games.